Welcome to the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I'm joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck. And today we are looking at what we learned from the 2024 season and how we should apply it to the 2025 season, aka our Memento tattoos. Every year at the end of each season, we have all these lessons we learned, these things we do differently, regrets, 2020 hindsight vision of how we should have approached a given situation. You can call it postseason clarity, if you will. And then by the next season, we completely forget everything we learned and we make all the same mistakes all over again.
Yeah, life is nothing if you don't learn from your mistakes. And this is us reckoning with those mistakes. It's us trying to resist the training camp amnesia that hits you every single year when you start to see reports. Sean Payton actually has a very clear wide receiver depth chart. I believe this. That makes sense. Shanahan's injury reports. I believe those. People seem healthy. Christian McCaffrey would play tomorrow if there were a playoff game. So this episode is about reckoning with the way we felt in January last year, right after the season ended, all those raw emotions, and now applying them to this year and seeing how we feel.
All right, we're going to get into all our amnesiac reminders tattooed all over our body. But first, quick break. This episode of the Ringer Fantasy Football Show is presented by Hyundai. Get into the Hyundai Getaway sales event and get away with a deal so right it almost feels wrong. You can get huge savings on their adventure-ready SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe and Santa Fe Hybrid models. Or go all-electric and choose from America's most awarded EV lineup like the breakthrough Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for details. Offers end September 2nd, 2025. Let's get to the lessons for next season. Again, this was inspired by the movie Memento, where the guy has amnesia and all the tattoos are tattooed. He can't remember anything about who killed his wife, so every clue he learns, he tattoos on his body.
DK still hasn't seen the film.
Still haven't watched it, which I
not
think
really
fits.
necessary for this. Also, if you watched it and forgot, that also works. It doesn't really matter. You don't really have to know anything. It's kind
I
of
understand
the
the
whole point.
concept.
Yeah, the concept is I never listened to anything I've ever said to myself.
Do you remember that we did one episode where we actually recorded the episode in reverse and we ran it in reverse, where we started with thanking Lauren? I don't know if that worked, but I respected our attempt.
I feel like
we tried.
Confusing.
It sounded like a good idea when we talked about it, and then we made it, and then it was hit or miss. So
the show ended with
concept, right?
The show ended with Heifetz saying, "Welcome to the Ring," and then the music played. We tried.
Maybe,
we tried.
I don't know if we got lazy or we
least
just
you tried.
got smarter. The only other thing before we dive in, so we're recording this on Friday, August 8th. Craig is going on vacation next week, but you're listening to it now. Where are you going, Craig? Vancouver?
Canada. I'm going to Canada, Vancouver and Whistler.
There you go. That'll be fun.
Lovely.
So any crazy news that really changes these conversations, if we don't address it, it's because we recorded this Friday, August 8th. But yeah, you guys are probably listening to this. DK and I had meeting times on Monday to replace Craig. So we'll see if Craig earns his job back by the time he comes back the following week. So
that's a tough beat. That's a tough act to follow, meeting times, but.
So let's just get into it. And I want to start. And again, these are things that we actually recorded an episode at the end of last season. It was like, what do we want to tell ourselves next August? And we pulled up the list and we're each going to go through and look at the things we wrote down. And we're all going to decide, do I still believe this? And how do I apply this lesson to next year? Do I choose to take my own advice or not?
How do I make money off of this?
And how do I make money off this?
You know Billy Madison, the scene when Adam Sandler's shaking the fat kid's face and he's like, That's me to myself. That's January me talking to August me.
As you can.
Don't take Kyle bits.
Yeah, that's January me talking to August me.
All right, I want to start off with DK.
Yeah.
DK, number one lesson from last season.
And please tell us where this tattoo is.
This is like the Tupac Thug Life tattoo on his stomach. This is, don't overthink this shit. Basically, I feel like every year, and we do this more than anybody. Basically, we overanalyze everything. We think about it too much.
We do 50 episodes in the off
we have to talk about this shit for like 3 months before we make our drafts, and then we completely overanalyze it, miss the forest for the trees. Take great players and great offenses. So last year, the obvious
we're in the fucking hot dog suit. We're like, why? Who's overanalyzing all these players and news?
We're all trying to find who did this.
DK's like, just show up on draft day and pick the best players on the best teams.
So last year, some very obvious lessons or some very obvious examples of this lesson. Saquon Barkley. We were talking about him not getting enough passing game work, and we forgot that he's one of the most explosive running backs we've ever seen in our life, and he's playing behind the best offensive line in the NFL and a really good offense. Jamar Chase is another example I think you could make. Derrick Henry. Oh, he's 30 years old. He's starting to decline. Blah, blah, blah. He's not going to be much in the passing game. Yeah, he's in an awesome offense where they block for him, and he can get going, and he's going to rack up 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. So I think we have this analysis paralysis where we think of reasons to not take great players. I think you can do this even in the middle and late rounds where you're just like avoiding guys for really dumb reasons. Like you want pieces of the best offenses. Is kind of like the bottom line here. Last year, that was obviously the Ravens, the Eagles, the Bengals. The Bengals was a classic example of overthinking it, I feel like. Sorry, Heifetz.
What? Who?
But there's just like
find the guy who did this.
That wasn't me. You have the wrong man.
So yeah, I think that's the bottom line. That's the rule. And let's talk about what it means for 2025 now.
I generally think this is probably the best rule in fan. It's just the players who are good, who have always been good, who are on good teams. Saquon Barkley and the Eagles is a great example. I think you can apply this to elite wide receivers this year. Mm-hmm. A lot of receivers got hurt last year. A lot of elite wide receivers got hurt last year. A lot of running backs were healthy. I would say don't allow one blip to influence the way you think about elite wide receivers, which is typically the safest bet you can make in fantasy. Guys like Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins got hurt last year. Don't let that influence anything. And even buy low on other elite wide receivers that had bad situations. Guys like Devontae Adams, Mike Evans is another one who got hurt. Tyreek Hill, who I've been banging the drum for. All of these elite players, Devontae Adams now on a good team in a good situation. Don't overthink that stuff.
Yeah, I think this is totally right.
The other example here, and I guess this is sort of like the inverse of what you do not want to do, is you draft your team, you're looking at your roster after the draft, and it's like, oh God, I'm really betting on the Browns, the Steelers, the Colts, and whoever, whatever. Sorry, Craig, not Steelers are fine. Steelers are fine. And basically you look down your roster and it's like, oh God, I am betting on all these really bad offenses to win me my league.
Miserable. It's miserable.
You know what I mean? So like, have it in mind. Think about the teams you're betting on, the systems, the overall environments that you're betting on. Those are the ones that are going to win you your league. So I think, obviously, you can take one or two guys. You can't take all elite players from elite teams, obviously, throughout your whole draft. So there's obviously exceptions to this, but I don't know. I just think early on, this is what you want to focus on.
My birthday was on last Saturday.
Oh,
and
happy birthday.
My beloved best friend, Chris Barlow, the best man in my wedding. Great guy. You guys have met him. Funniest guy I know. We were all Ubering home at night. Everybody had been drinking. And he and our other friend Alex decided they wanted to get In-N-Out, but the line was too long. So instead they went to a random shack burger joint and he got a barbecue bacon cheeseburger and then got food poisoning that night. And the lesson honestly applies to what DK is talking about.
Yeah.
Only eat at the good restaurants,
Yeah.
You don't have to worry. Don't go to the random burger shack at 1 a.m. one's in.
Yeah, think about what you're putting into your body.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't
draft
much.
Cleveland Browns or you'll get the Browns.
Can I have one quibble with that story?
Sure.
How much did you guys drink?
He didn't. What do you mean? I don't know.
Least
is this like a classic? Like I did 7 shots and 31 years old, and I'm going to blame the cheeseburger because
no. He was not. He was fine. That man has had a lot of alcohol for long enough where that did not cause him to have food poisoning.
All right, good. Just checking. I think it's a great rule. I think that like when I reread this rule as I was going over the list, I thought to myself how a lot of smart people, also me, but like that's not related to the smart people, but a lot of people have Bijan Robinson, the Falcons running back, as the number one guy. Evan Silva established the run, really smart guy. Has Jahmyr Gibbs as the number one guy. So does Ben Gretsch. Like a lot of people have Bijan 1. John Hansen has Bijan 1. A lot of people have Saquon 3 for all at running back because of all the risk of injuries after Saquon got almost 500 touches. And I have to tell you guys, I read this rule. DK saying draft elite players and elite offenses, and I'm like, you know what? The dumbest person is going to walk into your fantasy football draft having done 0 preparation.
Wow, Saquon's available at the 4th pick? Great. Click.
That's weird. And that guy's going to win your fucking league.
It's just a mini version of what we like. overthinking Saquon this year and dropping him from like first to third or fourth is just a smaller version of what we did last year.
Yeah. Yes.
100%.
We're like, well, what if he gets hurt? And then meanwhile, he just isn't going to get hurt. And then he's just going to have another team. He's got 2,100 yards this year. Yeah. So
I think just to stick on this a little bit more, this year, the rule is a little bit murky. You know what I mean? Obviously, we never really know what teams are going to be elite going into the NFL season. I think you can kind of guess most of the time if a team has a lot of continuity, but some of the all-time great teams to stack last year, the all-time great offenses that you really wanted last year, like the Lions, the Vikings were awesome last year and they were really valuable in fantasy. You can go down the line. There's quite a few teams that like we're not quite sure what to make of them. The 49ers, I think the 49ers are probably going to be really good, but that's not a guarantee. But I mean, like you look at the Lions, new offensive coordinator, some changes on the offensive line. What are the vibes going to be like there? What is the play calling going to be like there? Don't really know. And then, just down the line, I think it's a little bit more complicated this year than maybe it was last year. What do we do with Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Well, who are the teams? I think who are
you take them.
You just take them. I will say the teams that we know are elite. The Eagles.
You don't overthink it, DK.
Don't overthink it.
I'm doing it right now.
Stop overthinking.
Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror.
That's what the tattoo's for.
What are we talking about?
You literally saying, what do we do with Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's like the most consistent, deliverable player in the league with Jared Goff and a good that's really funny.
Oh my God. You know what's funny about that?
That worked great. I didn't even mean to do that, but yeah.
You know what's funny? Amon-Ra St. Brown got the wrong number, but he has the number of players taken above him in the draft, literally like a memento tattoo, so that he never forgets that was happened to him. So it's a perfect player too. Okay, next tattoo here. Craig. Mm-hmm. What is your lesson from last season you want to learn this year or remember this year, and where is this on your body?
It's on my shoulder. It's like the I heart my mom. What is that? I love mom heart
with
tattoo.
The heart in it. Yeah. Arrow through
it's like that. And this is kind of a spin-off. It dovetails off DK's, but it's take the guys you want. So it's also good players and good teams, but it's take the guys you want. And I was honestly going to belabor another restaurant metaphor that I'll probably leave out. It's basically like order the item you want rather than a different item just because it's half off.
Someone's trying to convince you to do this, that, or that. Like, I heard this is really good. I'm like, no,
if you want the fish and chips.
I want a quesadilla every day, all right?
Yeah. If you want the fish and chips,
eat other shit.
Don't order the pork chops just because they're 50% off, because then you're going to have pork chops. You don't want pork chops.
This is my brother. My brother's the worst orderer at restaurants ever because he just doesn't connect where he is and in the moment versus he's like, I should have a salad. I'm like, well, we're a Cracker Barrel, Michael. I don't think you should get a fucking salad. And then he orders, he's like, I wish I got the burger. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah.
Read the room.
So one strategy I like, and I actually came up with it this year, and I'm going to do it this year and hope it works. I'm basically going to put a little star. I think you should create your tiers, create your rankings, bring them to your draft.
Maybe at fantasyfootball.theringer.com.
Yes. Find out all the players you like. Me personally, I honestly like most of the players between 1 and 25. From Saquon and Jamar Chase down to that first 4 quarterback group.
You're not like out on anybody.
I'm not out. From Jamar Chase down to like Lamar, Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen. I kind of like all 25. And then it kind of gets dicey for the middle 30, 40. And then I like a lot of later round guys. But what I'm doing this year is I'm just putting a little star next to around 50 to 60 guys in my top 200 that I like. And I'm like, you know what? I'm only going to draft guys with the star next to them. And if one guy is cheaper and the other guy's a little bit more expensive and one has the star and the other doesn't, I'm going to take the star.
Yeah. I think this is, well, first of all, like the rankings or whatever platform you're drafting on, hopefully Yahoo, because Yahoo's the best, has like their ADP or their rankings list, and you kind of like feel really weird drafting out. Like it's like people are going to judge you if you take a guy who's like 2 rounds below. Yeah, it's like it's a weird. You get stuck to this list that you don't even know who made it or where it's from. You know what I mean? So you get kind of like really stuck in that, and you're really afraid. I find myself doing this all the time. I'm like, oh, I can't draft this guy. He's down the list so far. That would be embarrassing or whatever. I think also this rule, Craig, is really important when you're doing auction drafts because you can kind of get sucked into, oh, this guy is going for so much cheaper than he's expected to, or that this like sheet that I have says he should be, and then you kind of like you get into it and you end up with a player that you don't really have that much conviction on. With auction drafts, I think it's probably best usually, unless it's like a real value, like just have a short list of players you want to get and then go get them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
don't spend time spending $5-10 on some guy that you don't really have that much conviction on, because you're going to end up with a team of like randoms that you weren't even planning on.
Yes, there is a difference between taking a guy like James Conner, who is a yearly value, who falls in drafts because he's boring. That is not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you actively don't like Michael Pittman or Breece Hall, two guys I was not into last year, two guys I drafted because they were going for $10 to $15 cheaper. And I was sitting there like, man, am I being an idiot? I have no interest in taking these guys. They do not have stars next to their names. I didn't think about them once this entire offseason. And yet, man, it seems like a pretty good deal. That is different than James Conner being a value. And every year I know he's a top 10 guy and I know he's a smart pick, but he's boring. So there are differences there that you kind of have to be aware of. But do not take Michael Pittman if you don't like Michael Pittman just because he's $10 to $12 cheaper.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think the one thing with auction is it's a mix, because you do, if you're in an auction draft, you do end up wanting to like sit there and wait for your friends to, you need like a parlay of when 9 other people are all not paying attention at the same time, and you do get a value sometimes. But I agree. Overall, I actually have a list of notes of tattoos in my phone sometimes of mistakes I made, even in leagues years I won a championship. I'm like, yeah, but you got lucky because like here's a bunch of fuck ups you made that, and every year I have like all these auction players where I'm like, here's this really sick player that you didn't pay $2 extra for. So congrats on getting J.K. Dobbins.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? It's like
idiot,
the two
idiot,
players
idiot.
that add up to 12. And I'm like, well, I spent 6 on these two guys. Then when I cut one of
There's
them.
nothing worse than like the post-draft clarity. You come home, you pull up your roster, you're like, who are these people?
Robert
are you?
Woods, he's still in the league.
Oh my God,
I like.
it's the worst.
I think that's a great example, Heifetz, too, of especially, well, particularly in auction leagues where, yeah, at the end, like there's people that only have like $1 or $2 left, and it's really kind of like depends on how you nominate a player. If you can go up to 2, then a lot of times you're going to win that player. And there's so many good players left at that time.
Players.
And it's
So
so
many.
frustrating if you only have $1 left or you can't bid on anybody because you're like, oh, fuck, he's still out there. This is an incredible value. And you have like these starter level players going for $1 or $2 because
Yeah,
you
like
can't
Woody
bid on
Marks
it.
to the Texans. You're like, he went for $1?
Yeah.
Shit.
So that's where you start to get this regret of like, oh, why did I spend $16 on fucking whoever? And now there's going to be someone on my bench the whole league.
And yeah. So this is overall a good thing. Take guys. And it's funny because this actually goes back to a real life NFL thing. Lombardi always said this when he was at the Ringer with us, where he was like, scouting is not, for the real life draft, scouting is not finding players. Scouting is eliminating players.
Yeah.
It's like
Greg
avoiding
just
the
eliminated
landmines.
like, it's like 100 players I don't really care for.
Yeah, literally just you could be liberal with it. Just star like the 50 to 60 players you think are going to be good, you would like to have on your team. And I bet you can get like fill your 15 team roster with those guys.
And to be clear, it's okay if you haven't been doing a ton of prep like we have and don't necessarily have those opinions. But if you really, really have strong takes, just roll. And I think the key is like, don't reach like 4 rounds. If a guy's going to be there in your next pick, that like definitely, that's always, I think, the line. Like, don't go and just get your favorite quarterback or whatever just in round 1. But
You got to
it's like
a little, yeah.
Anyway, this goes right into my next role, which is really similar. And this one actually is, it's on my knuckles. And I didn't really spell it out right. So I actually have 2 letters on each knuckles. It's kind of hard to read, but it just
2
says,
letters on each knuckle.
It's
That's
I
a bit
really,
it's a bit much.
I was plastered when I
You
got
could do
this
like
tattoo.
multiple knuckles,
Well, I know, but it's a whole sentence. I didn't think it out very well. Yeah. But on my knuckles, it just says Marie Kondo was right.
It's a lot.
It was a terrible idea. I think I don't know. But anyway, I just remember the Marie Kondo was like a COVID thing, got popular, and there's a method of cleaning. And the whole thing was she was like, here's how you get rid of the things you have. Does it spark joy? No, get rid of it. Like, that's literally it. And I think I had this epiphany last year that like that is the ultimate, not a total strategy, but it's more than a tiebreaker in fantasy football. And I think that if fantasy football has one issue, it's that we almost pretend like we don't watch these players for like 200 hours a year. Like that you will not be on your couch for 8 to 12 hours on Sunday all season. And the idea, like, just the concept that, like, it's a fantasy football team. I don't know about you guys. When I go to my Happy Gilmore Happy Place, my fantasy football team, Josh Allen is my quarterback. And the idea that Breece Hall would be in my football fantasy is, like, preposterous. And so the idea that I would rank Josh Allen behind Breece Hall is ridiculous. And I'm just going to try to remember that this year. I'm not saying you should take Josh Allen first overall in a 1-quarterback league, but if you don't think he'll be there with your next pick, I don't care, because my quarterback is Russell Wilson in real life, and I would like to spend a year with Josh Allen.
This is why the game was invented, so we can root for other players, right?
It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Fantasy. Is this player part of your fantasy? And like, ask yourself, if you're between people, ask yourself, which one of these guys do I want to watch for 100 hours?
I don't know why Breece Hall's catching strays here, but
I do.
I like Breece Hall.
What are you talking about? Did you watch him last year? You know what happened?
He was hurt.
He was the number 2 pick in drafts, and he was fucking terrible. No, he played the whole season, though.
He had a knee injury.
Okay, well, it was the worst of all worlds because he was hurt and played.
Literally,
okay,
like,
fine. Let's
it was
let's
a
talk
disaster.
About, go off on Jalen Waddle or something. Jeez, leave Breece out.
I didn't take Jalen Waddle second overall. Just saying.
This is like the perfect example of this rule, because now Craig like literally hates Breece Hall.
I hate Breece Hall.
He's got no juice.
This is why, like, I hate.
By the way,
players.
I was the first person on the planet to identify that he had an undisclosed injury. I watched him run in week 2, and I was like, something ain't right. Either this guy's genuinely not good at football, or something's wrong with his legs.
Something's wrong with his legs.
It's true. DK is actually, it's so funny because DK gets mad at me so much that I love when DK gets mad at something Craig says.
Yeah.
And DK was pissed at Craig.
He was mad.
Because he besmirched
I was like,
Breece
you
Hall.
shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
He really did. It was great.
Breece Hall's a nice lady.
It truly was one of those things. It was I think it was in the same game. It was like we were texting and Craig was like, Breece has no juice.
No
juice. I slapped him in the face. I was like, you shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Hey, you get it together.
And then I think probably 5 minutes later, I responded. I said, oh, fuck, Craig's right. He's like, he got like caught from behind on a run. I was like, oh no.
The goal
What's
line?
going on with this?
I was like, this looks like a third string running back. What is going on here?
He had a knee injury.
Okay.
He had a beard.
He's a man.
He's a man. He had an injury.
But yeah, I just like take players that make you happy. That's my groundbreaking thing.
Heifetz, who are the players that are landmines for you this year in terms of like do not spark joy whatsoever, at least in the top 50?
Or do you want to go the other way? Who make you the most happy?
Sure.
Let me talk about joy. Let me talk about happiness now, and later I'll talk about toxicity. Okay. So I want to start with happiness. The guys that because I think I want to add some specific names to this. Some are obvious. I mean, the elite players at every position. Running back, the top 10 guys are all sick. Ashton Genty, Achane, all these guys are amazing to watch. Derrick Henry, that's not news. The elite receivers, all the top 11 receivers to me, 12 are amazing to watch. Other than that, the guys, quarterbacks, all four, honestly, top 5 quarterbacks. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Jen Daniels, that's obvious, but I can't stress enough. Like, if you haven't done that yet, if you've always done late round quarterback, that's probably a good fantasy strategy. I will just say, if you're like a Browns fan and you've never, Lamar Jackson's in the division, but like if you can just Sunday Night Football, like Bills Ravens, and Josh Allen's your guy, like it actually does make your season better to watch Josh Allen go and have 34 points or
You're
whatever.
in a better mood. You're nicer to your family.
Christmas
you're nicer
Day.
to your children.
Yes, Lamar Jackson beat the Texans.
Speaking from experience, DK?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're just in a better mood, all right?
Yeah. And so the other one I'll say, throw in there.
Feels great.
I'll actually make it the top 5.
You don't come home drunk at midnight, pissed off about Breece Hall, yell at your family.
Yell at your family. You don't take it out on your wife.
Yeah.
Look at my son's eyes and I see the same
You cook
calories.
the shit out of the chicken.
You throw your plate against the wall.
The other one I just look at the 50s.
I drive a Dodge Stratus.
Yeah. I did just pull out certain ones of just guys where I'm like, there's a glaring, like, which of these guys do I want to watch all year? And I had people we have. Joe Burrow, 2 spots from Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Joe Burrow.
Who do you want to watch all year? I'm like, shit.
Tony.
That was kind of obvious.
I mean, Tony's kind of a post-type sleeper, but yeah.
There's value there.
There is value there. He's going for $10 less than he's expected to.
I think Josh Allen is the single most player that makes you happy. Like the Bills.
I agree.
I've never been the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs era every time I would go up against them, I had genuinely like a terrible day. When it was like, I remember it was Monday night football. I was up 70 points. And he had Josh Allen and Steph Diggs and he won. And I was like
up 70.
Yeah. And it was like, honestly, it seemed easy. I was like, I'll probably lose. And Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs easily came up with 70 points. And I'm like, he just does everything and he's involved in every way. He's super likable. The Bills are super fun. They have like the best fans. And I'm like, you know what? I just like want to be on Josh Allen's side for the rest of my life.
And so
I totally you're up 70 and you lost.
Yeah. Classic. Diggs had like 180 yards, 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen ran for 2. I was like, of course. But like, this is why you want guys like that. It makes you happy.
So I just want to throw out a few other guys that make me happy. Those are the obvious guys. Get an elite quarterback, get an elite running back, elite receivers. Other guys that just make me happy. The point being, though, you should make your own list. This is my point, is figure out guys that make you happy. My guys, I just want to shout out of like, I just like this person. If this person succeeded on my team, I'd be happier than other people. Ricky Pearsall is back-to-back with like Michael Pittman. And I'm like, on one hand, Michael Pittman, who had a bag back last year playing with Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson on the Colts, and just is a pretty boring player. Next to Ricky Pearsall, who got shot, came back, had a great story. We had the stupid tattoos of like bet on yourself and everything on his arm. Like, I liked him at Florida. It's just, and one of the best offenses, Shannon. I'm like, I'd rather watch Ricky Pearsall. Like, this is obvious. Jaden Reed, I like how he plays. Like, no one likes him this year. People don't like that he's a player. I don't give a shit. Jaden Reed is a man among boys. He fights people. Like, I love Jaden Reed. Tyler Warren, just unbelievable to watch in college. And I watch him the preseason game, the Colts. I'm like, that guy's going to be great. He has long hair. I'd like him on my team. So anyway, figure out who that is for you. George Kittle.
George Kittle's a great
George Kittle side by side with Breece fucking Hall. Who do you want on your team? George Kittle or Breece Hall?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun too, like if you're into this kind of thing where you choose a player from your arch rival team. So like George Kittle's a perfect example of this. And so it's like the 49ers are succeeding. Doesn't feel great in my heart, but guess what? George Kittle. Fuck yeah.
Emotional hedge.
Yeah, that's kind of blasphemous, but
I get it though, because some people, so my brother is an example of someone who'll never draft. My brother will never draft the Eagles or Cowboys, but then both Giants Super Bowls, I put money on the Patriots money.
Of course, yeah, I do get that. I've done that before as well.
I'm like, you're telling me if the Giants win the Super Bowl, I only have to pay like a couple $100s? Like, I would have paid millions for this.
When SDSU made it to the national championship, I would just bet against them every week as an emotional hedge.
There you go.
And I was happy. Every time that I lost money, I was like, great.
Best money you've ever spent.
I would have spent $100 for them to make the finals every fucking year.
And some people are listening to this, like, why wouldn't you bet on your team? Because imagine losing the college basketball like final and also you're out like a few $100. Like, that's awful.
Yeah. I did bet on them in the final because I was like, fuck it, we're here.
Oh, well, that must have been terrible. Well, you broke the streak. That's your fault.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to get to more rules here in a second, but quick break. On Tuesday, August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for football fans. It's 24 hours of deals on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer in the MVP race. Kyler Murray is 50-1. Crown your champion in August. The Bucs are like 28-1 to win the Super Bowl. I think the Bucs might be the second best team in the entire NFC, and the Bucs are 28-1 to win the Super Bowl. Or parlay your division winner dark horses. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. DK, next Memento tattoo here from last year. What's your where is the tattoo? What is it?
This is one of our oldest rules, I think. You know, this one.
This tattoo is faded.
It's our first tattoo.
You had to get it retouched up.
Yeah, kind of like at times I'll, like do a piece over it. So it kind of like blends into all the other tattoos now. Uh-huh. But basically it just says, don't trust Kyle Shanahan. Last year, well, this one would have fucking saved you from a lot of pain. Because obviously the Christian McCaffrey debacle. And I remember, I feel like we were talking about this before the year last year. We're like, we're kind of ignoring it and we're just going to draft. It's kind of ironic that we have Christian McCaffrey ranked in the top 3 or whatever. For me, this is tough. I just got done talking about George Kittle.
For me,
this is kind of like me telling you that sugar is bad for you.
Okay.
It's like, implicitly that sugar is bad for you. This is what you've heard your whole life. Don't eat that. It's too sugary. It's going to make your stomach hurt. You know what? If there's cookies in my house, they're getting fucking eaten really fast. I'm going to eat them in probably less than a day. A pack of cookies. I just can't have them in my house. This is like someone telling you not to smoke when you get drunk. But you do because it's fun. You know what I mean? Like,
So you're saying Kyle Shanahan and the Niners are a cigarette when you're drunk, or it's like a pack of Oreos on the counter late at night.
It's hard to fucking follow this rule.
People tell you not to do it, and you're like, oh, fuck those people.
So yeah, like I recognize that I'm being sort of like pedantic or something by saying not to trust Kyle Shanahan, and my like if I was told that, I'd probably be like, this person isn't that fun.
You're the guy lighting up a cigarette,
nerd.
telling the kid, don't smoke, kid.
It's like, all right, don't tell me what to do.
Don't be like me. Don't make the same mistakes I did.
So you look cool.
So you're saying
so this is a tough one. I feel like this is the rule that actually is probably usually the right one, but I almost never follow it.
You remember when like Pete Davidson paid like $100,000 to get all of his tattoos removed? Are you going to do that? It feels like you want to get this one removed. It feels like you kind of want to trust Kyle Shanahan.
It's like, this is not the lifestyle I want to live.
You don't want none of this, Dewey.
Yeah,
you don't want none of this.
I've already talked myself into George Kittle. I'm talking myself into Ricky Pearsall. If Christian McCaffrey's there at like 7 or 8, you know what? I'm probably going to take it. And it's,
okay, so you're into all of the Niners.
So look, do as I say, not as I do. All right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're like,
but also you can't trust him. You just can't.
I think what's good about this is I think that the trust has been removed. I think that maybe is that how we convince ourselves to smoke? Is that we're like, well, drunk cigs don't count. You're like, it doesn't count about trusting him if you actually all the players are like really cheap.
This is like those stats, like every cigarette will take 4 hours off your life. And you're like, all right, that's fine.
Okay.
It's like, all right, you know what? I'll die 4 hours earlier. Okay.
I actually don't really understand the connection there between what Heifetz said.
Taking Shanahan players will take 4 hours off your life. But you know what? I'm going to do that.
Fuck
anyway.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
I will say, but the Niners are like the perfect storm to be like, but I want to do it this year because it's like they have the easy schedule in the NFL. They're gonna be way healthier. Like it just, and again, guys are cheaper. Like Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall. These are guys going and like, you know, we can probably get them.
Yeah, it makes more sense round. Now. It's like when they like took the alcohol out of Four Locos or whatever. Like they made Four Locos like kind of healthier, and you're like, you know what? They're better now.
No,
it makes sense.
It's Zyn and smoke and vaping, where they're just like, no, don't worry. We took all the tobacco out. It's just nicotine now. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's healthier.
So where do you guys fall?
It's basically a salad.
I'm taking all the 49ers. I want Kittle.
It's a salad with like a shitload of fucking blue cheese dressing.
Yeah, exactly.
On it, right?
Yeah,
that's super.
I'm taking all the Niners. This is really. It's like what you're saying, DK, about no sugar, no smoking. I respect you if you do it, but like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna eat all the cookies.
Right.
I'm gonna eat. Yeah. So because
this is like those people that will wake up at 4 a.m. and have a full day before I get out of bed. If you don't, if you want to not take Shanahan players, I respect you.
Craig,
but I'm not getting up at 4 a.m.
What is that video, Craig? Your favorite internet video?
The guy who's had multiple days.
The guy who has 3 days in one day.
Oh my God.
4 a.m. to 7 a.m. I've already banged out a workout. I've already taken some notes. He's like doing a diary.
He's like, my day starts at 5 a.m. And he's like, from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., boom, that's day 1. Then 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., that's day 2. I'm kicking your butt. And then 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., that's my 3rd day. And then by then, 6 to midnight, bam, 4 days. I'm living for one. I do 1,000 days a year. I'm kicking your ass.
Yeah.
He's like, you do that for a month, I'm ahead of you. You do that for a year, I'm going to kick your butt. I do that for 5 years, you can't stop me. What's this guy fucking talking? That's like when Kramer started, like, only wanted to sleep in naps in Seinfeld.
Like Napoleon, he's like 20 minutes every 4 hours.
He just slept for like 3 hours a day.
Wolf naps.
I adore that video. I don't know who that man is. I wish I should look him up.
I think we could find him, yeah.
There's several versions of it, I feel like.
DK, you have another twin tattoo with this one. This one's actually a pair you have here.
Yeah, this one I actually do want to follow. This is like maybe closer to don't do black tar heroin because it actually might kill you. Don't shackle yourself to the whims of Sean Payton. The whims of Sean Payton. What's Sean's middle name?
I'm on it.
Sean Payton. Everybody's starting to believe
his
in Sean Payton.
His middle name is Sean.
Okay, well, what's his first name?
Patrick
Sean Payton.
Yeah,
Patrick Payton?
Don't shackle yourself to the whims of Patrick Sean Payton.
What's funny about that is that means his initials are PSP. Oh, damn. Never mind. I thought it was PCP, which I thought would have really worked.
PSP.
Yeah. Okay, here's the deal. He's a good coach. He's obviously a very good coach. I think the Broncos are probably going to be pretty good. He did a great job with Bo Nix. All that stuff can be true. At the same time, I don't like having players on his teams because it's really annoying. And there's all these people that say, "Oh, look at the history of what he's done at the running back position. Look at this. He turned, Kamara and Mark Ingram into both RB1s. All through his history, he's done this, blah, blah, blah." RJ Harvey is 5th on the depth chart right now behind Audric Estime and Tyler Beatty. He's doing this to fuck with you. He's doing this because he hates you. He doesn't like you. He doesn't want your happiness. He doesn't care about you. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be sucked into this. You know what? Look, I've drafted some RJ Harvey. I'll admit it, but I don't feel good about it. I don't like it. I don't want to have any part of this team. This is very, I guess, similar to Heifetz's thing, where if it sparks joy or if it doesn't spark joy, it actually sparks rage for me watching some of these teams. The receiver with the highest snap count last year, the running back snap count last year was 53%.
Okay.
We all got excited about RJ Harvey, and then they signed J.K. Dobbins. What are we going to do with this?
Rebuttal. Maybe there's a reason why Cortland Sutton was the only wide receiver to play a significant portion of snaps, because none of the other ones were good, and he was trying to figure out which one was good, and then none of his running backs were good, and he was trying to figure out which ones are good. And then when he has good players on the Saints with Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas or Marcus Colston, those guys played because they were good, and he just doesn't have that many good players, and so he's trying to draft new ones and see if those are good.
I mean, yeah, that's probably right. Okay. But I think the
guy was rolling out Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims. And
I was going to say,
Devon
every time Marvin Mims touches the football, he gets like 20 yards, and then he refuses to play this guy. Not that I think Marvin Mims is like this world beater, but I just think, again, it's like Shanahan. It's these guys have their guys that they like. And even if they are good, Craig, like in our opinion, maybe some of these guys are good. If Payton decides that you're not good, then you're not fucking getting on the field. And so I just don't want to be like, I don't want to have to worry about who he likes any certain week. He's just rotating guys. Cortland Sutton's good, though.
I think this is an important thing because I think the Broncos have become like the most popular team of the year to project.
Everyone's coming around on this team.
But you're not.
Well, I'm not.
But I think that RJ Harvey's an interesting one because on one hand, I think RJ Harvey hasn't really been talked about enough in a way. Because RJ Harvey, he's the UCF running back, and he was a quarterback in Virginia. I know I've talked about this, but again, to me, it's underrated that on one hand, I think RJ Harvey is going to be like a Darren Sproles for this Broncos team. Which, what does that mean? Because on
that
one
kind
hand,
of like actually is an ick for me, even though
because on one hand, Darren Sproles' best year of his career was 600 rushing yards. He was a very small pass catching running back. But I'm also a little dubious. I'm like, can you really be in Darren Sproles as a rookie? Like, that's a lot. Like, especially for Sean Payton, where rookies sometimes struggle. Like, the idea that RJ Harvey will come in and just be Darren Sproles in the passing game, I'm like, maybe he'll be Darren Sproles later, but expecting that from RJ Harvey immediately seems like a lot. But then I think about it, I'm like, RJ Harvey played quarterback in college at Virginia for a year, and I'm like, so he could throw. So Sean Payton took a guy in the second round who can throw, and I'm like,
he's a running quarterback, but yeah.
This is the Taysom Hill. He doesn't have to be a good quarterback. He just has to be a credible enough passer to, if someone's uncovered, hit them. And so suddenly, if you're in the running game and you're designing weird shit, and you're like, oh, the starting running back's motioning, what are we gonna do? You throw him a swing pass, and everyone crashes down. He can throw it, and like I kind of think that he's gonna put that on tape in week 1 or 2, just to force defenses to deal with it. But even then, I'm like, this is a more interesting in real life player, I think, than necessarily some fantasy like dependent running back. I don't know. Because on one hand, I worry that RJ Harvey could be the skeleton key to the season and he'll be like the lead running back on a Broncos team that's great, winning, playing with rushing and defense. On the other hand, I'm like, this guy's going to be part of a 3-down backfield that is, to DK's point, it's going to be completely and utterly unpredictable when RJ Harvey is playing, getting touches, and we'll have no clue how to go about this.
You know the very famous video of Chris Farley where he's like, a guy in the crowd and they're talking about coffee or something, and he tricks him and gives him like decaf or something. I can't remember what the conceit is. And at first he's like and then he gets really upset, like he gets like super mad. That was like me. I was like, RJ Harvey, 2nd round? Oh my God, I love RJ Harvey. And then I see who he's drafted by. I'm like, no. Son of a bitch.
I respectfully disagree. I'm in on RJ Harvey.
I know.
Well,
I think he
go for it.
I think he could be the skeleton key. The whole rookie thing, dude. Reggie Bush had 120 targets as a rookie with Sean Payton.
Well,
Alvin Kamara.
Craig, you're doing what they all do.
Alvin Kamara had 100 targets as a rookie. Reggie Bush had 1,500 yards. Alvin Kamara had 800 yards receiving as a rookie with Sean Payton.
I think
J.K. Dobbins has had 9 injuries, and he's like 26 years old. That's the only thing standing in between. I don't even think he is standing in between. I think RJ Harvey could be a very serviceable player, even with J.K. Dobbins.
Every game Dobbins played, I think this is the one thing I will say. I think sometimes
Bo Nix checks down more than any quarterback in the league.
I know.
But I think this is the thing sometimes we get wrapped up in, where it's like Ben Johnson goes from the Lions to the Bears. And we're like, well, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery were great. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if one of these Bears running backs, Swift and Roschon Johnson, like, what if they'll be great? And I'm like, oh, yeah, right. The Bears aren't the Lions. The same thing with Sean Payton, where we're like trying to force a running back to be great in this offense. And I will say, the Saints teams that were doing that with Kamara and Mark Ingram were literally some of the best offenses in the history of professional football. Like, those are Saints teams that score. Drew Brees was like the first 5,000-yard passer when that was happening. Like, the 2017 Saints, that's like the best team to never win a Super Bowl of my life, was that era.
Also,
of the
Reggie
Saints.
Bush was like maybe the greatest college football player of all time.
Yes. And I'm just, I know. And I'm just saying and like, here's the thing. Those Saints teams, but those Saints teams, the defense, they were the Lions, where the defense was horrific and injury prone, and they had to win by scoring 35 points a game. The Broncos are probably going to have the best defense in the entire NFL this year. And so the idea that RJ Harvey's going to necessarily be a pass catching running, like the Broncos are going to truncate games, try to run and like play with defense, where I'm like, they're literally I don't necessarily think Sean Payton's vision to winning the Super Bowl this year is by scoring 30 points a game like he was with the 2012 Saints. That's my only thing. Having said that, watch RJ Harvey
I
explode.
love RJ Harvey. I wish him nothing but success because I really did like him before the draft, but I don't know, man. You got these are the tattoos. You got to listen to these things.
Javonte Williams led all running backs last year with 54 targets on play action alone.
Yeah, those are the stats where I'm like,
Javonte Williams.
Anyway, I know.
Yeah, how do you finish?
I think I leave
dead last.
No, I'm saying this man is Sean Payton is trying to tell us something. If he can't stop targeting Javonte Williams and then he reaches for a running back in the second round of the draft, what is he telling us?
I don't know. He traded up for Marvin Mims and then barely played him.
I'm with Craig, but DK's going to be right. But I'm going to side with Craig. I'm going to take RJ Harvey, but DK's going to look back and be right.
I don't know if it'll work immediately, but I think by the end of the season, RJ Harvey will be very important.
That is one thing I'll say. If you end up with RJ Harvey,
hold on.
You cannot cut him in October. If he's like benched and not playing, I don't care what. Like, you have to do like going past, like Odysseus past the fucking sirens. Wax in your ears. Don't listen to anyone. You cannot cut RJ Harvey if he's not playing in September, because by November he could be a top 10 running back if he's playing for like if J.K. Dobbins gets hurt. So you have to hold him. Okay.
Go Broncos.
This is all like a big lead up to this one. I think the last few. This one's This is what it's really about. Craig, your next tattoo here. Where's this one located? What's it say?
This one I got when I was blacked out drunk, and I woke up the next morning and saw it in the mirror on my ass. And it said, avoid anybody who skipped minicamp to see if the aliens built the pyramids. Yeah, this one stings. I have to say, hoisted by my own petard.
Why, Craig? Which player avoided skip minicamp
player
to see if the aliens built the pyramids? Which player did this?
Aaron Rodgers, a very curious man who just wants to learn.
He's an enigma, really.
Is it so bad to want to learn about world history, travel the world, see the world's greatest, the 7 wonders of the world? I don't think the pyramids are one of those, but
I'm pretty sure they are.
Are they?
I'm almost positive.
Isn't there a modern seven wonders?
7 wonders of the ancient,
and then an ancient 7 wonders.
Yes.
Which one is it? Is it the ancient is the pyramids?
The Great Pyramid of Giza is one of the ancient world.
No, the pyramids are the modern one. What the fuck do you think?
How modern are the modern ones?
The pyramids...
the oldest thing in the world.
Heifetz, what's the stat? It's like
Cleopatra was born closer to the moon landing than the building of the pyramids.
That's wild.
Well, if they are the oldest thing in the world, Heifetz, like you said, pretty impressive to build those such a long time ago.
Craig, did Aaron Rodgers go to...
How are the pyramids the oldest thing in the world? Makes you think.
Mean, it's a valid question. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the statue of Zeus at Olympia, the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, The mausoleum of, okay, these are some hard words. Halicarnassus, Colossus of Rhodes, Lighthouse Alexandria. Did you go to all those too? Those are the 7 ancient.
I'm sure it's on the list.
World ones.
Also, like, I gotta say, the modern wonders of the world are not exactly like last year. It's like the Great Wall. It's like Machu Picchu and fucking.
That's not modern.
It's one of the modern wonders of the world.
That's funny.
Great Wall of China. So Colosseum. So these are all like long times, thousands of years ago.
It's kind of confusing. They have 2 lists.
I agree. But anyway,
I think we're also reading off Google Gemini, which isn't helping here.
Could be wrong.
What the new 7 wonders of the world?
No, DK, we're getting sucked in. This is just Craig deflecting from like how the fact that the Steelers signed Aaron Rodgers and he's just going in on Aaron Rodgers, and like we should take this advice and like talk about. No,
here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. This was about fantasy football, which I still agree with. I do not think Aaron Rodgers is a good pick in fantasy football this year. Do I think perhaps this was a better decision to pay him $13 million than Kirk Cousins 100 or Sam Darnold 100? Yes.
Are you going to take DK Metcalf in fantasy drafts this year if he falls to at cost? Like, fifth round?
At cost, like maybe. I do think he will get a lot of targets. I think that it will be a funnel offense to him. And Aaron Rodgers threw more passes than any other quarterback last year. I'm not going to go out of my way to draft DK Metcalf, no. But, look, I'm deflecting. I'm a little upset that this was a tattoo I found on my ass this morning.
Yeah, it's tough.
You guys talked me into it, fuckers. So, hey, is there anyone besides Aaron Rodgers that applies to this rule in terms of, is anyone having like a weird ass off season?
Well, no, I think, weird off season.
Well,
I mean, Diggs would be I don't know if it's, I mean, doing drugs on a boat sounds way cooler than.
Allegedly.
Also, like, I feel like Diggs has been Diggs. Is this like a weird off season or is this just always what he does and we just saw it on camera once?
Right. Bingo. Yeah. This though leads to my another one that's the twin to my other tattoo here. And it's just like it's on my thigh. It just says avoid toxic people in toxic places. And I am going to try to adhere to this. And the names I have tattooed on my body of toxic people in places: Kyle Pitts, Jalen Waddle, Chicago, Jets, Cleveland.
Chicago,
the
city
Jets,
of Chicago.
Yes, and with the team, the Bears,
Jets, and so no flying.
So I think you're bad at interpreting tattoos, but I think these things together to me are the theme of this whole episode, which is like, you have rankings, you have tiers, and the tiebreakers, if you're between players, are: do you love one of these players and you're average about the other? Or do you hate one of these players? What are you talking about? And I'm like, again, I know I said this earlier, but it's the same thing. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Jets. George Kittle, not a Jet. Why am I trying so hard this offseason to talk myself in to investing in Justin Fields and his dislocated toe and the Jets and Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall? Why am I trying to do that to myself? Like, you know what I mean?
This is essentially just draft good players on good teams.
It is, but it's also the inverse, because sometimes you're comparing an average player on an average team to, I guess an example is, I'm really trying to talk myself into the Jaguars. I love the Jaguars. It's unrelated to Travis Hunter. I just believe in Liam Cohen, the coach. I believe in Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. I know that a lot of people are out, and I'm like, aren't the Jaguars a toxic place? Who has succeeded in Jacksonville?
Right.
Why am I trying so hard to find the first great functional offense in Jacksonville history? Why am I trying to create this? The Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer. Why am I trying so hard to carve a piece of the first? This has never happened. Why am I trying so? Just stop trying to make toxic things work.
Heifetz, this is like kind of like stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yes, fetch. The Jets, the Jags, the Browns.
Stop trying to make the Jags happen.
Why? I don't want to do this. So that's kind of where I'm at. And let's just change that. I like that. Or let's add that on there. But I think this is good. Like, stop trying to invent reasons that someone's going to like go off or whatever. Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry Garrett Wilson went to the Jets, but like, that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And he's stuck there. He just signed a thing.
Any other players you think this applies to? All the Browns. So Jerry Jeudy, if Jerry Jeudy's great, I'd rather lose without Jerry Jeudy than win with him. I'm just done. I don't like the Browns.
I mean, the Titans a little bit. Like, we love Cam Ward. Think he's going to be a good player. But are we trying to make fetch happen when we talk about Calvin Ridley? When we talk about
he's the only
Tony
receiver we're drafting on the team. I don't think we're necessarily we're saying Cam Ward will probably target the shitload out of Calvin Ridley, and we're like him being 75th is probably value. We have him like 60th. I think
maybe it's the Raiders. Maybe it's our love of Pete Carroll and the Raiders. Genty, by the way, well, we'll talk about this, but Genty did not do great in his first NFL outing.
The Raiders are concerning. Like, if they went really bad, we're like, oh yeah, Pete Carroll is the oldest coach in NFL history, and Tom Brady's this weird part-time owner, and Chip Kelly washed out of the NFL and like literally got bored of he won't recruit, so he just like only wants to call plays now and hates college players.
Genty, 3 carries for -1 yards. Well, if you extrapolate that to the season, he's losing a lot of yards.
I desperately need that man to play week 2 of preseason, so that's not the only thing that's stuck in my brain on draft day.
Dude, I will say, Genty, if Ashton Genty's bad, and we're like, oh yeah, all those tackles that he broke were like people who are never going to play professional football. It was Boise State. I'm going to be really sad.
If Caleb and Genty both end up just like being bad, I'm officially just going to fade every single like consensus top overall pick. Yeah. I'm just going to be I'm just going to do the opposite. I think there's one other, the inverse Heifetz of like the fetch thing to me is like Kyren Williams, where it's like, stop trying to not make Kyren Williams a thing.
Totally. That's a good one. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's happening. Accept it. Okay.
I actually have a list of players like that. I didn't have a great place for this, but I agree. Like, stop trying. Yeah. Whatever you just said. Stop trying to get me to
stop. Stop trying to get me to stop saying fetch.
We're anchored to guys that the draft capital, no matter what or what we thought of them before. It's why I keep talking about Kyle Pitts. I think guys that we didn't think would be as good as they are and are going to get either a lot of, like, at running back, it's Kyren Williams, a perfect example, Bucky Irving, and then also Chase Brown, who have like Chase
Isaiah
Brown,
Pacheco too. Yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco,
James Conner.
Chase Brown's a good example of if Chase Brown had been like, if Ashton Genty just did what Chase Brown did, Freaky Friday style. If Chase Brown just did, or Ashton Genty just did what Chase Brown this year, after Ashton Genty was on the Bengals coming into the season, we'd have Ashton Genty as like a top 12 pick. But Chase Brown did it, so it's like, oh, he can go 25th or 35th or something. And I'm like, we should probably just believe that Chase Brown's going to get the same role again. We should probably just believe Kyren Williams. Like, that's a good call. Like Rashid Shaheed's probably on that list of guys that if he had James Williams has done what Rashid Shaheed's done in his career, he'd be like 40 spots higher. But it's Rashid Shaheed, it's kind of an ick. So it's like outside the top 100. There's a lot of guys like that.
Yeah. Also, if Marvin Harrison Jr. was like a 3rd round pick and he did what he did last year, he'd be 30.
We'd be out.
Actually,
no, that's not true, because we'd probably be stoked about him because he was a 3rd round pick and he had
that's
like 800
true.
yards.
Like,
maybe that's right.
Sneaky good. Yeah, Marvin Harrison.
I like the Freaky Friday reference, Hype. It's very, very relevant as the Freakier Friday just came out.
Freakier Friday. I still want to figure out a format for that where we just read each other's stats about a player, but it's like a lie and it's someone else.
Is it a Freakier Friday if it happened again? Like they've already done this. So is it freakier?
So I didn't see it yet, but I assume that Freakier
regular Friday,
some kind of like this like sex
I believe there's
on.
now 4 people swapping. It's like Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis have swapped with like teenagers, I think.
Oh.
And I think. Yeah. So are you guys going to go see that movie?
I would actually. Freaky Friday's a good movie. Jamie Lee Curtis after The Bear, loving it.
Oscar winner.
What did she win the Oscar for?
She just won it a couple years ago. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Oh, yeah. That movie
was great. Movie.
The movie was excellent. Although I think that movie, I don't know how you feel. I'm surprised it won the Oscar because
very bizarre Oscar.
Parents' generation can't follow it. Like the multiverse thing doesn't stick for them.
No.
They can't conceive. You hated it?
No, I said they hated it.
They did. I mean, like Bill didn't like it. My parents were like, we turned it off after an hour. What the hell was that?
Same. Jackie and I were like, it's the best movie
me being like, what is this movie?
I saw that in the theaters and I remember it was like the cliche of like, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll cheer. Like I did all of that in the span of 2 hours watching that movie.
Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com. Other movies that you think like really had a generational divide where you're like older people were like, I don't get this. And younger people were like, this changed my life. Like I'm sure Fight Club was probably like that when it came out. But like movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once where your parents were like, I couldn't finish it.
It's also the humor was very current and modern, like the style of the jokes. It was just an incredibly modern film.
All right, next tattoo here. Craig.
This is tattooed on my rib cage, and it just says Jamar Chase 101. Take him first, You can't convince me otherwise. He's the best wide receiver in the best passing offense with the best passing quarter. I'm just doing it. I will take Jamar Chase. That's it.
Yeah, that's good. No notes.
He's the best.
There was a moment, I can't remember, it was over the last couple of months, where you were trying to talk about someone else at number 1. I was like, Craig, what about Jamar?
Too. No. It's like DK at the beginning of the episode.
Jamar Chase. Sorry, we're recording this like a little early, but Jamar Chase last night for the Bengals, he's good.
Why was he playing?
He's still good.
I kind of love that they're just
it's because the Bengals, like Joe Burrow's never had a normal preseason because year 1 was COVID. And then year 2, he had an emergency app. Yeah, he was recovering from
a calf
ACL.
Injury one.
Calf injury. Then he had like an
Couldn't pick up a
appendectomy.
water bottle.
He had to get his appendix removed on like the first day of training camp one year. Like he's literally never. So they're like, and then they keep starting 0-2 each year. And then fighting to get back to the playoffs. So like we probably need to get in a rhythm. And then look great. Speaking of which, that's so funny you brought that up. I have this crazy tattoo across my chest. It's written backwards so I can see it in the mirror. And it just says, Joe Burrow killed my family. What do you guys think that means?
I think you need to do some investigating.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Soul searching, if you will.
My biggest mistake of my professional career last year was basically pointing everyone away from the Cincinnati Bengals because I was worried about Joe Burrow's wrist, and it wasn't based on nothing. It wasn't just I was like, the water bottle thing had nothing to do with it. Zero. Sure. It's on the record. It happened way after. It
had something to do with it.
No, it didn't. No, I will say this
for Craig. It did.
Do not put it out there. I talked about it like 10 times before that. That was not a thing.
I'm just a chaos agent. I'm just trying to shit stir.
The water bottle had nothing to do with it.
Craig.
But it's funny.
Seriously though, who did build the pyramids? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need. I think here's how we need to approach this Joe Burrow killed my family tattoo. We got to identify, and I think we talked about this last show a little bit. We need to figure out who your Joe Burrow is every year.
I agree for people who don't know, that it really was the worst mistake I ever made. Because I actually think as a percentage of hits, I think I got more stuff right last season than I ever have, and yet. If you add all that up,
the one you made your identity,
pointing people away from the Bengals was the worst thing, outweighs literally getting everything. Even McCaffrey, we moved McCaffrey down because I was like, I don't like this Achilles situation or the calf situation. And I was like, I don't like the wrist situation with Burrow.
Man, I wish you would have focused hard on Christian McCaffrey instead. That would have been awesome.
Pointing people away from Burrow. I know.
Well, you did talk about him, but
no, we did. We moved McCaffrey down.
You talked about him, but I'm saying I wish you'd have been obsessed with it. Like
I know that would have been better. But the pointing people away from Burrow and Chase and Higgins was like the worst mistake I've ever made because pointing people away from league winner is a lot worse than talking up a guy that sucks. It doesn't matter if you miss one pick, but missing one of the few players that changes the season is a huge problem. So that is good to remember. But I will say it also is a theme that my most passionate take of any given year is always wrong. And I can't explain it, but I just know, and I want to let you guys know, I have identified what it is this year.
Oh, okay.
The mix of certainty, arrogance, like
I want to guess
enough information to feel like I'm right. But like when you look into it a little more, I'm like, oh, I see. And I have identified what I think it is, and I'm going to stop on my tracks. I figured it out. And if you guys need a hint, let me know. But I figured out what my
Anthony
take
Richardson.
is.
Well, it's funny that it was Anthony Richardson, and then he literally got hurt.
No, that's not it because
that's too low stakes.
It's low stakes. The whole thing is, your last pick, you're going to cut him anyway. I'm like, take Anthony Richardson.
Wait,
I don't care that.
DK, let's guess. Give us a second.
Justin Jefferson's going to have like 3,000 yards.
I don't know. I think
I'm not that anti-Jefferson. I think I have him higher than.
Wait, Heifetz, give us a hint. Is this a person you're out on that you think will actually be great, or is this a person you think will be great that will actually flop?
The hint is DK, and I've disagreed about it multiple times, and I think DK is right. I've thought about it, and I think I'm wrong, and he's right.
The Saints will be good?
Yes. I think that I've identified it in the tracks. It is all the same things. Like they're gonna suck. They're gonna suck. They're gonna suck. They're gonna suck.
You have. That's why. This is exactly why I pushed back a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm literally just being contrarian because you guys keep talking about them winning like 3 games. I'm like, they'll probably win like 7 games.
It's everything I realize you get wrong, which is a bunch of things I realize I believe. No one ever actually can correctly identify the team getting the number 1 pick, or like the idea like, they get the worst pick. Like that's always
injuries.
Wrong.
Right.
Yeah, like
I mean, I feel like last year we kind of thought the Titans would get the first overall pick. But.
Okay, usually.
I don't know, but like
Will Levis?
Okay, but fine. But like how many times 2 years ago the Cardinals were like, wow, the Cardinals have the Houston's first round pick. That could be the number 1 pick in the draft. Texans made the fucking playoffs. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
happens all the time. And so that also, we have talked so much about the Niners having the best schedule in the NFL. And like Niners pencil
That
them
helps
into the
so much.
playoffs
Yeah.
because they have the number one schedule. The Patriots could make the playoffs. They have the easiest schedule, the second easiest of the Niners. The fucking Saints have the third easiest schedule in the NFL this year. And they had a lot of injuries. And I am not going to say they're going to make the playoffs because I don't believe in Spencer Rattler. I think Kellen Moore going from the best offense in the NFL and the Eagles to the Saints, like there's all these issues. However, I think I have over-indexed on the Saints will suck. And I'm like lumping the Saints who their issue is they're always competitive. They're obsessed with winning at the point that they've created like a salary cap Ponzi scheme to stay competitive every year. Lumping New Orleans in with Cleveland, the Jets, Chicago teams with decades and decades of losing and unable to stay out of their own way, I think is like a huge mistake for me. So like obviously the Saints could suck, but I am going to not lump in New Orleans with all these pathetic franchises.
I wish this was higher stakes because I think this is right. Like you have been like fixated on this a little bit. But like what if the Saints are good, like it won't matter that much. You know what I mean? Like
so maybe that's it though. Is it that the Saints win the division? Is that,
or maybe it's like Chris Olave has 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns or something.
Yeah, because like if you're wrong, it's like okay, the Saints won 6 or 7 games.
Maybe it's like Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed are all superstars in fantasy or something like that. And
yeah, like
and
Tyler
again,
Shuck and Rattler are great.
This is what I talked about last show. You know, they're going to play fast. They want to be the Pacers. Craig, I know how much you love that. You know, they want to do this.
Why would Craig like that?
Craig was saying he hates that. Or maybe
it was an ick that Kellen Moore showed them tape of the Pacers. I was like, okay.
Anyway.
Why is that an ick?
I don't know. It just feels irrelevant and like it feels like such a cliched move, or it's like Kellen Moore knew that would get out and thought it sounded cool more than he actually believed it would work. You know?
No, I all these guys
I feel like it's a real PR thing.
All football players want to be basketball players.
No, I know, but like I don't think that has any material influence on anything. It's like, look at the Pacers. Look how much they run. They're like, yep. Okay. That's a different sport.
I like it. Craig, this goes back to like the Pete Carroll days in Seattle. He would always do stuff like this where he was showing videos of like apex predators and like how fast they would strike and shit like that.
But that's cool. That's like motivating and interesting.
Basketball.
And
that's a different sport. Lion hunting a zebra.
Yes.
And you're like, that's
way cooler. Because that's like motivating. That's like visceral. Watching a lion like hunt somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Tyrese Halliburton, look how quickly he gets the outlet pass out. Who fucking cares?
I actually think Craig is really right about this.
A fucking cheetah running 80 miles an hour and taking an antelope down is like really cool. Miles Turner here. Look how quickly he gets the board and finds Tyrese.
I think it is funny because like, yeah, I would say the Pacers is one of the least interesting like finals teams in a long time.
Well, no, they were one of the coolest stories in the NBA in a while, I would say.
But like lack of superstars, maybe.
So, well, yeah.
But like, I just don't, I don't know. Again, that sounds cool in theory, like when you read it in a headline, but when I actually think about it, I'm like, I don't know. That's kind of lame. Kind of an
just show the hyenas tearing down.
I saw this
a player just said that like 11 hyenas can tear down a lion. I forget.
Here's the stat from Jared Smola that I thought was interesting. All 6 of Kellen Moore's NFL offenses have averaged at least 65 plays per game. For perspective, only 4 teams averaged 65 plus plays per game last year. Plays are fantasy. That's going to help in fantasy. That's all I'm saying.
But does me acknowledging that this happened and I caught it in its tracks, does that mean we can make money off it? Or that it's just like, there was a universe where I would have just talked about the Saints getting the first pick and being a disgust, like pathetic team. And then the Saints like make the playoffs and Olave. Does that universe still, are we in that timeline still? Or does me acknowledging it ruin it?
Can I be 100% honest? I don't think you've fully put your passion behind the Saints take the way you did Burrow and the Bengals last year.
Not at all.
There's something else inside you that we will extract in the next month.
Okay.
I agree fully.
Then we'll stay on watch for it. This is gonna be part
Panda
one. Panda watch. We're gonna have our next episode.
I think the Saints are gonna suck, by the way.
Yeah, they're fucking awful team. Spencer fucking Rattler.
3 wins.
Our next episode is going to be the rest of the lessons we tattooed. And yeah, we are serious about like, these are actual things we're trying to figure out how to incorporate for next season. So that's going to be part 2. But for right now, we're going to read a couple emails and then we'll have part 2 later this week. So we're going to get to emails. Any other thoughts on any of these overall? I think our take is basically I feel like our takeaway from this is don't just go ahead and reach for players you like if they're 3 rounds early, and don't just totally refuse to take Jalen Waddle if he falls 2 rounds. But if it's more than just a tiebreaker between the 50th and 51st player of like, do I want to watch this team? Do I like this player's story? Do I hate, are they on the Browns? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's more than just a tiebreaker, but not necessarily a reason to like, don't make it your whole personality.
I feel like this was a feelings episode, and the next episode is much more like analytical and I guess strategy. There's more strategy with this next batch, but this was very much
statistically
just like,
driven analysis.
Yeah, this one was like, fantasy is supposed to be fun.
So this one's like, be emotional.
Well, it's like, don't lose the forest for the trees.
Totally.
It's like, take guys you like, take guys on good teams. Don't get cute with some player on a shitty team because it's a good value. It's like you're overthinking it. Just take good players that you like, that make you happy, who are generally on good offenses.
It is now time for rules and tips to winning your league. A new segment presented by Yahoo Fantasy, the best place to play fantasy football this season. Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days throughout August, and they just dropped Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine Leagues, a killer new way to play on Yahoo where the lowest scoring team gets eliminated weekly until one is left standing. Give the new Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine Leagues a try, or stick with the classics in private head-to-head leagues or public leagues. Whether you are a seasoned pro or a first-time player, there are a few things you'll want to know before the season kicks off. So we wanted to go ahead and give our number one draft day rule here for advice when you're out here on your Yahoo draft. DK, what is your number one draft day rule for people?
I think using tiers when you're drafting is a really, really good way to do it. Basically, it gives you an idea of which position to draft at each spot in the draft. If you're getting close to the end of a tier of elite guys at a tight end, you got to grab that tight end before it's like a huge drop off to the next guy, that kind of thing. Same with quarterback. And you can use this for every position. I just think it's a really helpful tool that you use in each round to kind of figure out what the best value is in each round.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that is probably the most helpful thing you could do. Even the process of just making them on your own.
Make the tiers. Yeah, I think that's actually really a really helpful way to plan.
You learn really quickly where you're like, oh, this is my red line.
Right. Yeah, I like printing them out as well, doing it by hand.
Cross them off.
Is that your number one rule, Craig?
No, my number one rule is if you are drafting in person with your friends, your league mates, try to sabotage the environment as best you can. One,
if you're not cheating, you ain't trying.
One, don't go to the bathroom, honestly, especially if you're in like an auction draft or something like that. Like treat it like you're about to go on a 10-hour flight. Like prep your body, because
don't drink
going to the bathroom
right before. Yeah.
Going to the bathroom can be the difference in you getting a fantastic pick or not. Also, I would say there's always a moment in the draft when everyone's like, should we order food? Should we get lunch, dinner? Order the heaviest, most unhealthy, gut clogging food you can think of. Pizza, fried chicken, whatever you want. Don't eat it. Let everybody. Also, food that makes your fingers greasy. It's hard to type. You need to wipe.
Right,
you really just do anything you can to get their mind off of the draft.
You just order bone-in chicken wings and you're just crushing the celery.
You're 100%.
That's good.
You're using only a fork.
Savvy.
Yeah, I would say no food or drink. Just lock in.
Just
Machiavellian.
That's good.
Yeah, smelling salts and those two.
Bring smelling salts for every round.
Yeah, my number one thing of advice is just have a plan. Like if you're picking 10th in a 12-team league, figure out your first pick ahead of time. Like just rank the 10 players and you're like, who should you take? And then if you're between people, go to the next round. You're like, who are the receivers that would be available? Who are the running backs? If I take Derrick Henry with the 10th pick, well, I wish that when it comes back around, you're like, your 14th pick, who is it? Because then you can in that situation, actually, your first 3 picks, you can actually kind of figure out. Your first one for sure. And then really your first 3 picks where it's like, if you have the first pick 1 and then back-to-back 2 and 3, like you could really figure out who am I going to end up with? And then you're like, okay, well, based on this, who's my quarterback going to be? Do I want an elite quarterback? I listen to Heifetz. Like I want one of the 4 quarterbacks. All right, cool. How are you going to get them? And if you don't, where are you going next? Do you want Joe Burrow with the next pick, or do you want to wait like 100 spots if you don't get one of the top 30 guys or top 4 guys? Like just know that in advance. Have a plan. Where are you getting your smelling salts from? How are you going to order all this greasy food to the draft? How am I going to sabotage my league mates? Like you can't just show up and expect to sabotage people. Like you have to have a plan. In advance.
Yeah. Also do mock drafts. You could do those on Yahoo. I mean, if you know what your pick is going to be, do a bunch of mock drafts. It will give you a good idea of what is possible.
There you go. Bring smelling salts to the mock drafts. Stay tuned for more killer announcements and start playing Yahoo Fantasy Football at yahoofantasy.com/theringer. Okay. Let's do a couple emails and get out of here.
Emails.
This one's from Rich.
Richie. Has anybody seen Richie?
What's up, Dick?
This is a
Arbone.
This is a follow-up to the zoo conspiracy. We got an unbelievable email from Andrew about a zoo in New Jersey that claims to have a black bear. And Andrew's like, there's no bear.
That claims to have a black bear.
So pointed, so leading.
They claim to have a bear.
So skeptical.
This zoo claims to have an animal in there.
So Rich emailed in, I've been a devoted listener to the podcast for years, but I've never thought to write in an email for a mailbag before. Until I heard about the turtle-backed zoo conspiracy theory from Andrew on the Receivers podcast.
It inspired him.
Rich writes, my wife and I have 3 young boys, and we happen to have been to the turtleback zoo no less than 100 times.
100 times?
Between the 3 kids combined.
That's good.
He says, my kids have done camp there. We've had multiple birthday parties there. They've done the holiday party there. Yeah, he's like, they birthed in the zoo and the vet saw. He's like, you get the idea. We go to the zoo a lot.
They're huge fans of the zoo. Okay.
Yeah, huge fans of the zoo. So Rich says, after your podcast, I approached each of my boys independently to make sure that they would not influence each other's stories.
Great.
Like a good detective.
Yeah, right.
I asked them if
separate all the witnesses, right?
I asked them if they have seen Jelly the bear recently. Rich says, again, between them, we were talking about 100 visits to this zoo between the 3 of these kids. My oldest son, 9, is the most reliable narrator. Said he has not seen this bear in 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
My middle son, who's 6, and has probably been to the zoo more than anyone who does not work at the zoo, said he could not remember ever seeing the bear.
We're uncovering something big.
This is potentially big, you guys.
We are kind of the Woodward and Bernstein of 2025.
Woodward and Bearstein.
Deep
right
throat.
Yeah.
My youngest son, who's 4, says without missing a beat, I haven't seen the bear. I think he's dead or something.
I think he's dead or something.
We have reached out to friends and neighbors who we know go to the zoo, and they also say they have not seen the bear in at least a year. I have told people Andrew's theory. Everyone thinks he's right. This is a cover-up. This is no longer conspiracy theory. It's just a theory. You guys have to go visit the zoo and uncover what happened to Jelly.
My God. This is the funniest.
That's amazing.
I want to go and get somebody on the record, film an interview with
a documentary. Should we make a doc? Bring a crew?
Yeah, we should.
Oh my God.
Jelly. I like that the bear's name is Jelly.
His name's Jelly. So just to be clear, we think Jelly escaped from the zoo, got into the park, and then the bear may have attacked a woman and the police killed the bear. And then
they're like,
zoo was like,
fuck, we got to pretend this bear is still here.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they pull a Jinxie cat from Meet the Parents and get a different bear?
Pull a Jinxie cat.
That's a great question. Because where do you get a bear?
I don't think it's easy. It's not that easy to get an old bear, Craig.
What are you talking about? How do zoos get bears? I don't know.
I think they have exchange programs. Like the pandas in the DC zoo, it's like an actual. First of all, the pandas it's like China and America have an exchange program for the bears. The bears have their own FedEx trucks for the pandas. Like they have a whole trucks that transport these pandas back and forth to China.
And planes, I would imagine.
Planes, but no, I'm saying FedEx yes, that too. But they donated trucks that have panda logos on them, and they're just for these fucking pandas. And it's like I've seen the pandas driving around DC in the little panda trucks.
That's a movie of a guy who drives pandas around. That would have been like Dumb and Dumber 2 is like them driving a panda around. I feel like they should just get a new bear.
That happened in Borat.
So we should. Oh yeah, right. That makes sense.
Get a new bear.
So
Essex.
So here's the thing. Do you think that
it's not that easy to just get a bear?
Well, it'd be really funny if they had a guy in a bear suit poke his head out.
Oh, that was the thing too.
Super Troopers.
Oh my.
Is the guy
candy bars?
Is the bear?
We got to go to the zoo. But yeah, well, so there you go.
Is the area around New Jersey? I'm not familiar with New Jersey wildlife other than the devil apparently. Is there bears in that area?
There are black bears, yeah.
Okay.
It's not like as much as other parts of the country.
Is this a weird thing that there was a bear? Okay.
They exist, but it's not like as much as other places. I guess is the way to say it. Like they're around. I just Googled black bears. Do they exist instead of like in New Jersey? And so
do
Googled
they
Gemini. I was
exist?
like, yes, bears exist. Thanks, Google Gemini. Okay.
This is great.
One other email I just wanted to read. This is from. Oh, I actually lost the person who it was from, but I'm going to pull it up right now. This is from Michael.
Mickey, what's up?
Mikey writes, bowl of frosted mini wheats and a nice coffee for breakfast.
Can I just say I
Mini
love the breakfast thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
I
email
love
us,
it.
lead with what you eat for breakfast. We really want
We
it.
won't
used
read
to-
your email unless you tell us what you had for breakfast.
This guy, Frosted Mini Wheats, also not out of his 20s, right?
I gotta say, I realized way more people eat cereal for breakfast
Yeah,
than I thought.
cereal's really.
I used to
more
mix
people.
Frosted Mini Wheats with Honey Bunches of Oats. Look it up. It's really good. Try that shit. And now I can't because it's like 2,000
Look what
calories.
up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what the fuck am I looking
said,
at?
I meant
Look what up.
like try
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was really funny.
I looked it up in a book.
Look what up. Craig, there's a whole Reddit on it. I don't know.
All right, so frosted mini wheats iced coffee for breakfast, and Michael writes, I was gonna say I eat pieces of shit for breakfast, but I couldn't because I'm sad that Craig hated Happy Gilmore too. Craig has lived long enough to become the villain. Craig is like an old Roger Ebert who gave Step Brothers 1.5 stars. Had to look it up. Gave the same rating to the original Happy Gilmore.
Mm.
Craig, you're
That's
accused
it.
Well, there's more, but it.
Roger
changes
Ebert
up.
historically has terrible at comedies. Like he's never gotten comedies. He's not a good comedy reviewer. So he was also I think 70 years old and had cancer when he was probably reviewing Step Brothers.
So I think the point is he's saying that you've lived long enough to become the villain by hating Happy Gilmore too.
Craig has an established track record of liking good comedies.
Yeah,
though.
what are we talking about? I love like all of the famous comedies. I love.
I do get what he's saying though, that you're just yucking his yum. But that's you know what? That's what critics do. You got to have a take.
Right, Sean. That's what Sean said. You got to have a take.
Have a take. That's all I ask. Heifetz had a take, even though it was just fucking classic Heifetz.
My take is it was a bad movie, and I laughed. I laughed at the bad movie. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
My biggest
I'm supposed to
complaint-
lie about my bodily
Did
functions.
Jackie
I
like
laughed.
it? Did you watch it with Jackie?
No, she didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's because Jackie has taste. My biggest complaint is about the discourse. My biggest complaint about the discourse is that I was entertained. What's the big deal? Like to me,
Right.
that is such a low bar. Anyway,
Yeah, but isn't that the case for all like? I
think Craig's the best part of Craig's take, and obviously I agree with him, so I'm a little bit biased here, but I think the part of your take that really resonated the most was I think you said it's not even a movie.
No.
Like it's not a movie. It's just a fucking like Christmas special where they invite a bunch of cameos over and they fucking hang out for a while and that's it. There's no
that's true. Adam
our
Sandler doesn't really
standards
do
have
anything funny.
fallen
in the
on
movie.
what's considered acceptable. I think.
Yeah, but is that different? I don't know. Like, yeah,
Like
but
fan-
also
country used to be.
You can make a movie. You can make Happy Gilmore 2 to be fan service. I get it. That's what sequels are. It's fan service. People love the characters. You want to bring them back. But like, try and make it a movie. Make it a real movie and make it good. Don't just make it the bare minimum. That's my whole point.
Don't just mix random celebrities together into a scene and then expect it to be something.
I guess. All right, this is.
We've talked about Happy Gilmore enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the next thing that Craig is gonna hate?
Happy Gilmore 3.
All right, can I say one last thing about Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
No one wants to criticize Adam Sandler for it.
Of course.
No one wants to. He's
except
a nice
me.
guy. Yeah, I know. Just no one. It just it's almost like it's your fault for liking it. And I'm like, okay, but I feel like the criticism is Adam Sandler had 30 years to come up with a sequel, and he's like, I don't really have any good ideas, but I'll take $100 million.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. It's disappointing. Everybody loves Adam Sandler. Everybody in Hollywood loves Adam Sandler. I love Adam Sandler. That's why it hurt even more, because I love him. And I think he's great. And so many of his movies meant so much to me and I thought were really smart and funny. I mean, the track record of his movies over the last 10, 15 years have definitely changed. I mean, he basically makes like movies for kids now and for families on Netflix and stuff like that, which again is totally fine. But that's why it was disappointing, is because of the expectation of this person who had such a strong approval rating going into this. If this was a random movie, I wouldn't feel as strongly. If it was made by some random person, I wouldn't care as much.
Yeah.
You know?
Really cutting to the core of it, yeah.
I laughed at Scotty Scheffler being in jail. Thought it was funny.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. That can like that's sure. It's a fun. Yeah.
Bad movie though.
I wish Scotty Scheffler was like a character in the movie and not in it for 9 seconds.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, we could probably have written a better movie. Should we just make a new one?
Make our own version of fucking
pretend
Happy
the other one
Gilmore.
didn't happen. Okay.
It's called Happy Gilmore 2, The Mulligan.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's not bad. Breakfast ball. Michael. Ooh, what's for breakfast? There's something there. The other part of Michael's email I wanted to read is, I'm sure you guys heard new little freaks are on the way. The Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Oreos and also Oreo Cookie Reese's Cups are coming. In addition to the Selena Gomez Oreos we didn't eat yet.
How the hell is this?
Oreo Cookie Reese's Cups?
How the fuck is this? That never happened
my
before.
God.
I know. It's they each tried 1,000 things before they did that.
I know.
Oreos and Reese's are like on my Mount Rushmore of candy.
Craig, what's the biggest movie pairing that hasn't happened yet of two big actors? How you're like, how have they never made a movie? Like Denzel and De Niro or something where you're like, they've never made a movie before? Denzel and Scorsese?
Yeah, Denzel and De Niro's a good one. I don't know.
Leo and Cruz.
Leo and Cruz? Have they been in a movie together?
This is what that feels like. I don't know.
Yeah,
Bill would have an idea of who these actors are.
Yeah, it's like Deadpool and Wolverine, you know? It finally happened. We've all been waiting. I didn't see that movie.
Someone 2 months ago asked, why have Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Cruise not made a movie together?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably because they
Different
both want to be the star of the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
And I will just shout out Michael for reminding me to follow up on the guy who said they'd name a street Guanji. We were from Smallfoot. And I'm gonna,
We have a lot of things we need to follow up
If that guy's email, if the guy was like, developers, when they make a big housing thing, they'll name streets, whatever. And we were going to try to
Was it in Washington?
I don't remember where it was, but
by the way,
Wisconsin,
this reminds me. The No Context Ringer Fantasy Football account, the guy who runs that, really, really wants you to follow up on the story about the classroom that was next to another classroom, which I so rudely interrupted you and made fun of you for saying that. Like,
no,
that
because
like
it's not a funny enough story to like. It's been a month and it will be so disappointing.
So you refused?
No, I'm never going to tell the story. I'm never going to tell the story because it's not a funny enough story to like. It's not worthy of the bill. There's no way it'll deliver. It's just a thing.
That's like the Mitch Hedberg joke where he's like, I hate when I was like a mumbling or something. I hate when people ask me what, because then I'm just like screaming at them. That tree is far away.
The tree is far away. All right. Thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Ronak. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Email us at ringfantasyfootball@gmail.com. Our rankings are fantasyfootball.theringer.com. We have a draft tracker there. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Ringer Fantasy Football. Look it up there. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, The Clash.
Oh, and we do have our next episode coming out, part 2. Clash is great.
The Clash.
The Clash is a band I think I kind of want to go back and actually listen to like everything they've done. I feel I know a little about them, but I would like to actually like, they're on my short list of bands I want to just actually hear.
Did you know that they did they actually had the original song for the, the MIA song that got really popular with,
Paper Planes?
That them?
Paper Planes. The
Wow.
Clash actually had the original for that. Straight to Hell.
way.
Go look that up.
Wow, that's cool.
Which I thought was like common knowledge, I guess, but a lot of those are not as well known as you think.
I think Craig's generation and I are starting to have the songs where the Zoomers don't know that it's a sample, like when Doechii does Anxiety and it's just the Gotye. Somebody I know it's not Gotye.
Gotye,
whatever. I don't know if it's pronounced Gotye. And then that's also a sample, and what each 3 generations didn't know the previous one was a sample.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be totally certain that the Clash didn't sample that either, but I think they're the original ones that did that. But yeah, they have some great hits, man. They
so
were
many
very creative.
Yeah, Train in Vain is an elite song.
The other one I saw, I might have mentioned this on the show before, but I saw Heifetz in real time realize that Regulators was a Michael McDonald song.
Yeah.
Because we were
watching
the Yacht Rock,
the
Yacht Rock doc, which is great, by the way. Watch
that blew my mind.
I was just like, oh my God.
Michael McDonald.
Goat.
That blew my mind.
Yeah. I don't think I knew that either until I watched that doc.
Oh man, that's
Warren
great.
G. And also, what's funny too is that became the thing for Fight Night, right?
I don't know.
Yes, Migos Fight Night
right?
is Warren G. had to regulate. So Michael McDonald is the source material for Migos. No, I was unaware of this.
I didn't know that. I don't know what that is. I love finding like old. I go and like search for like samples and stuff. I think it's really cool.
That's a go to emails at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com, like unexpected samples, like a source material.
Yeah,
There's also a separate thing, which is sometimes the song they're sampling is like, you're like, how did you hear that? And like, that is the original thing of like Kanye being a genius or whatever. It's just like, sometimes you hear what producers make and what they hear and what they interpolate it and turn it into. And you're like, I actually never, isn't that the word, interpolate?
I don't know.
I think it is interpolate.
No, it's not interpret. The word, it's a word for that process of music. It's called
interpolating a sample.
Okay.
No,
I
it's a different
made
word.
that up. That's good.
No, I definitely did not make up interpolate.
Heifetz, we can make his playlist. Remember how we made the crescendo playlist?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's playlist with the samples back. Someone's already done this.
I already have it started, so I can share some with you. But
There's a really cool sample. I forget who they used, but One More Time by Daft Punk. That that melody is like a really interesting sample from an old song that I saw. I don't know, some old video, but it's really interesting. That's a good one.
There's a good New York Times article about making sicko mode with Travis Scott, because it's like about how samples work. Because I think at the time, the Travis Scott, like the sicko mode, because it's like he made 3 songs into one song, or he has a Drake sample or Drake verse, he uses like half of it, and he took like 2 songs and made it one. And I think it had the most writing credits. I think sicko mode actually might still have the most writing credits of any song that's ever been made that was like popular. And the New York Times had this breakdown of like how writing credits work now. Because it's crazy complicated.
Yeah, Beyonce
just
has
layers.
like a zillion for her songs.
Yeah.
But also because now it's all building on each other, and now it's like, it's like you want to use this like sicko mode uses like Give Me the Loot by Big E, but that uses like 3 songs.
Yeah, it's like exponential.
Yes, it is exponential.
Nesting dolls.
Yeah, it's like it is. Honestly, that is sample nesting dolls. Exactly. Email us that, ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com, examples of sample nesting dolls. I kind of want to hear that.
I like that stuff. Yeah.
All right.
A good example, Mariah Carey's Fantasy.
Yes.
Boom.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent call.
Which is, we are still trying to license Mariah, if you are listening.
If anyone knows Mariah,
we would love it for
us.
A very affordable price.
Boom.
You have enough money? Come on.
That's your pitch?
Yeah, it is.
Going with that, huh?
Come on.
Goodbye, everyone, but especially Mariah. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.